Hey guys, this is Jacob, or Fallout is the best, and I'm here to talk about a subject I really wanted to talk about for quite some time with Fallout 76, and I will briefly talk about some stuff in the other Fallout games because I think they relate to this. And I've had a problem with some stuff that's been added in Fallout 76 in recent time, and I've really wanted to talk about it. I just really don't like the direction, and that is the bosses. And I've talked about how Fallout 76 players are very different from the rest of the Fallout fan base, and that's not bad, and they do overlap. It's just Fallout 76 players want different things. Most Fallout players really want like exploration stuff, like quests that are intriguing and cool, and some just really fun stuff like that. Where Fallout 76 players are worried about, what's the next big thing I can fight? What's the best weapon I can fight it with? Stuff like that. They're always trying to improve, which is again very different than what the rest of the Fallout fan base wants, in my opinion, anyways. And so I wanted to talk about the bosses, and I think this is an issue with 76 that's been going on since before launch, and that's with the Scorchbeast. I think a lot of people in the fan base was upset because they were like, "What is this direction? It's just ridiculous. Like we got like giant bats that are basically dragons from Skyrim just going out like just fighting things and it's just crazy. And then the Scorchbeast Queen was even bigger. And a lot of the fan base just didn't like that because it just didn't feel Fallout, and it seemed like Fallout is out like is ridiculous. Let's be honest. Like it's just like it's not it's some like there's parts of it that you take seriously, but then there's some stuff that's just stupid. Not stupid in a bad way, just dumb, right? And that's kind of the fun of Fallout. But some stuff is so dumb that just doesn't really it doesn't fit in my opinion. And I kind of accepted the Scorch Beast, like they're mutated bats, so fine. Whatever, who cares? It is what it is. We have them in the game. It's a little bit ridiculous, but technically they're all dead by now. Like even in gameplay purposes, they're still there, but in story, they're all dead. So, I mean, who cares, right? But I wanted to talk about the rest of the bosses because that is my issue. The first one was the Wendigo Colossus. I did not like the Wendigo Colossus. Just this giant creature. Like the Wendigos I love. I love the Wendigos, such a cool concept. I love like a lot of those stuff in the game, but Wendigo Colossus is like really I don't see a human mutating into that. Like I don't cuz it's kind of dumb, right? And then the next thing was that really kind of pushed my buttons, I think really pushed it for me, was the Ultracite Titan, which is basically a giant mole rat. Yeah, a giant mole rat. Um, and I don't know. I just personally feel like that was a little ridiculous. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of dumb. You look at a Ultracite Titan, and it's like, really, that's in the game? And then, not only that, again, I just talking about, but then the Ultracite Terror, which is the most recent boss, literally a giant fucking snake. Like giant. And when I say like giant, I mean like it looks like it makes the snake from Harry Potter seem small. Like that giant snake that Harry Potter fights in I think the first movie. It makes that look tiny. It's so huge. It's stupidly huge. And the reason why I don't like these things is because you look at the rest of the Fallout games. Let's say, when I play Fallout 4, I'm fighting the stuff that I usually fight. I fight ghouls, even Deathclaws and stuff. Imagine you're in the same universe of that, and same with Fallout 3, you're in the same universe in Fallout 3 where you're fighting like Mirelurks and, of course, like Deathclaws, ghouls, all that. You're in the same universe where there's people, like earlier on in the apocalypse, fighting giant snakes that are the size of a building, and giant bats that have a sonic thing. Like it's just like it's stupid, and a giant mole rat the size, like again, the size of a building. Like we're fighting creatures the size of buildings, right? And it kind of makes the rest of the Fallout games feel a little freaking ridiculous. You're going around struggling fighting a Deathclaw. Who cares? A Deathclaw's small compared to the creatures we're fighting in 76. It's freaking ridiculous. And then you look at the Fallout show as well. Imagine humans, like normal humans. These are normal people, and they're literally on like one-on-one fighting a giant snake. It just doesn't. It's just kind of stupid, in my opinion. No, I'm going off, but that's just how I feel. It's just these are in the same universe. Another creature, another boss I'm like about is the Storm Goliaths, only because you know how hard it was to make Liberty Prime? Like seriously, you know how hard it was to make Liberty Prime? Pre-war companies couldn't figure out how to power Liberty Prime. That's why he was never released into Alaska and he stayed in Washington, where the Brotherhood found it. And yet now we have three Storm Goliaths that are the size of Liberty Prime. They are Robo Brains, like they clearly have these giant brains in them, which are clear, obviously not human. And so maybe you could be like, well, they're getting powered by the brain. Maybe, I don't know. That doesn't seem right. So just the Storm Goliaths kind of, I don't know, kind of defeats the purpose with Liberty Prime, where you such a struggle to power. Even the Brotherhood struggled to power it. Eventually, they figured it out, and then they had to figure out again in Fallout 4. And then all of a sudden, just these pre-war like Vault Tech, like pre-war people created these three giant Storm Goliaths. Maybe they're powered by the lightning. I guess you could say the argument is they're powered by the lightning. Fine, I guess. I don't know. It's because they're Storm Goliaths. I still think it's a little ridiculous in my opinion. But then when we talk about those things, there's parts in other Fallout games that have something similar. Like in New Vegas, I know you're perfect New Vegas. New Vegas has giant Robo Scorpion. If you ever played the big I think Big Empty, Big Mountain, I don't know. The Big Empty, which is like those scientists in like this huge facilities where they create advanced technology. They created the one I can't remember the scientist's name. Um, I don't know. But he created scorpions, but then he created a giant Robo Scorpion which you had to fight, which kind of felt ridiculous. But then now with Fallout 76, it doesn't really feel that crazy now. You know what I mean? So that, in my opinion, is like the only other comparison of like a giant creature we're fighting. Another one in Fallout 4, but it was cut, was there's supposed to be a giant ghoul. This one, honestly, is more stupid than anything we have in 76, in my opinion. They wanted to make a giant ghoul, like literally just like a normal ghoul, but huge, and it's like all melted and stuff, the size of a skyscraper. Not just a building, a skyscraper, and have like a whole bunch of ghouls around him in the glowing sea, and they called it Maple. That's a separate word, Maypole. Um, that's stupid. I'm gonna be honest. If I found that in the glowing sea, I'm like, wow, that's dumb. That's real dumb. Going like a giant, like what made no amount of radiation could like make a human that big. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of stupid in my opinion. I'm glad they cut it, but I would say that's dumb. They also cut a giant squid. They had an underwater vault. But the giant squid doesn't seem that crazy because we probably have squids that big in the real world, you know. So I don't really see it that crazy. But they did say that like the giant squid was an experiment and it was smart and stuff like that. So I don't know. But overall, Fallout is full of weird, funky, ridiculous things. Obviously, right? That's Fallout. But it gets to a certain point where it just starts to seem a little bit too much. Where I'm like, okay, well, like, I can't imagine, right? We're in the same universe where we're, again, in Fallout 3, Fallout 4, New Vegas, fighting these creatures that we thought were crazy, like Deathclaws, like it's like a fucking dinosaur, right? Or just some like that, right? Fighting ghouls, fighting Mirelurks, fighting, whatever creature you find out there. Even Yaguai are pretty big. And then in that same universe, hundreds of years prior. You had people like Wastelanders fighting, again, a giant snake that's like the size of a huge building, right? And obviously, the Ultracite Titan and the Ultracite Terror, they're connected in terms of they're both infected by Ultracite. So something in Ultracite is clearly like making creatures even bigger than what they need to, which is also where the Scorchbeasts come in, because the Scorchbeasts are also connected with Ultracite. So maybe that's it. Ultracite has only been found in Appalachia, as far as we know, right? We've never seen it before. So for that reason, that's why the creatures are getting so big in Appalachia, because they're connected to Ultracite. No matter what, Ultracite, something that came from space, right? Like Ultracite is clearly something from space, crashed down like a meteor, and Ultracite is out of like something otherworldly, and so that's what's making these creatures big, and that's why we don't see giant creatures in other Fallout games, because it's not radiation, it's Ultracite. But I don't know. I just think when I look at these things, it just feels a little ridiculous fighting these giant creatures, and it just doesn't feel. I don't want to say realistic, because again, that's stupid. It's Fallout. It's not supposed to. But in my opinion, it just gets to the point where now it's becoming too stupid. And it's becoming like a parody, and you're like, okay, well, this is just like, this seems ridiculous to the rest of the lore of Fallout, in my opinion. So, just wanted to talk about it, just wanted to go through like a rant. Tell me how you feel in the comments, if you find these creatures also stupid. I know, again, Fallout 76 players are a lot different, so they're okay with this because they're always like, we want to fight the next big thing, and that's why they keep releasing more bigger and bigger creatures, because their fan base is like, I want to fight more big things, but it's like, it doesn't work with Fallout, right? Even the Mylar Queens are looking tiny, and Mylar Queens are like these giant creatures, like even in Fallout 4, you're like, whoa, look at that. Now that's seeming to be like, that looks like small and ridiculous compared to the rest. So I don't know, quick rant. So yeah, make sure you like, subscribe. Tell me how you feel about it. In my opinion, I think it's dumb, but I wanted to talk about it. I don't see anyone else in the fan base talking about this, so I wanted to put my 2 cents in. And yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in my next video. Bye.